Good morning. It is Monday morning for me, and I worked yesterday, so it's actually kind of like my Tuesday. But anyway, before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I love to hear from you. Okay, so this morning, what I wanted to talk about is Jesus and science. This is what I was thinking about while I was getting ready for work this morning. I didn't watch any YouTube videos about it. I didn't really have any kind of particular inspiration for what got this in my mind, other than the fact that I've been talking an awful lot about both. I've been talking about Jesus a lot. I've been talking about science, and I wanted to just clarify some things, I guess. And some of this, or most of it, has to do with my perception and my beliefs and my thoughts, my opinions. So please, as always, don't take my videos like I'm trying to tell you how to think or what to do or who to be, because we're all on our own path, we're all on our own journey, and this is mine, and I just want to share it. So it's food for thought. My videos are food for thought. As I learn, as I grow, as I discover things. So what I really wanted to talk about was Jesus Christ. Christ is, first of all, Christ is not Jesus's last name. It took me a long time to discover that. I became a Christian, like, I don't know how many years ago, 35, 40 years ago. And I didn't know that. But his name means Jesus is healer and Christ is divine, the chosen one. So really, Jesus Christ means the chosen healer. All right, hold on a second. So his name means chosen healer, and just his name alone should kind of tell you, or tell us, what he was about. Jesus didn't come here to this world, to this experience, to start a religion. Jesus actually came to heal, and he came to free us from the confines of worldly religions. So I think it's just really important that we know that. Just as a foundation, as the basic foundation of knowing who Jesus is. He didn't create a movement that would become Christianity the religion. Christianity the religion was developed and started during the Council of Nicaea and Constantine and the Catholic Church. They are the ones, Christianity, true followers of Christ, true disciples of Christ, and what Jesus meant for his followers to be. They walked and followed him and taught what he taught and lived the way he lived for about 300 years after his death. And then after that, people started to form groups, and it's almost like, I'm not going to say like his words got twisted around, but people started to kind of morph into creating a religion out of what he meant to be a freedom movement. So Jesus came to demonstrate and to show us that we are spiritual beings living a worldly experience, and we are to put all of our focus on spirit and live in the world and not of the world. We should always know that this world is an experience that we live in, that we're experiencing, but to understand that we are not of this. Everything we see is not what we are of. We are of something higher. And Jesus came to show us that, to free us, and that's the freedom that his death and resurrection brought us the freedom from sin, which is separation from God. And separation from God is not knowing where you came from, is believing that you belong to this world. That's separation from God. So all the things that we do to satisfy our earthly bodies and our worldly desires are sin, because it separates us from the true beings that we are. And that's what Jesus came to show us. But over time, a religion was created and called, it was, the Catholic, the Roman Church. Christianity started in Catholicism, and it just went from there. And Jesus kind of got pushed aside. When the Christian religion was started, Jesus got pushed aside because instead of following his freedom, they basically used his words and used the Bible and used all the things in Scripture to once again try to enslave people mentally, emotionally, spiritually, enslave people with another religion. And Jesus even predicted that. He said that many would come in my name. He said that there would be false prophets. He said that there would be people that were saying that they were preaching and teaching what he taught, but they're really not. They're teaching the opposite. He said that. He told us about it. He told us that would happen. And here it is. It's happening. So, though in the beginning of my video, I said I'm going to talk about Jesus and science, and I'm getting to that. I just wanted to create a foundation of Jesus, who he is and what he taught. He taught us metaphysical things, spiritual things. He taught us to be in a higher elevation. Some people call it a frequency. Some people call it dimensions. I never heard Jesus say anything about frequencies or dimensions, but Einstein and Nikola Tesla came after Jesus, so this is where I'm going to incorporate science. Jesus taught metaphysical concepts, spiritual concepts, and he taught us who we are, spiritual beings. Then human beings, created a religion out of that. But on the other side of that, we are very curious creatures, and we here on this earth, we want to know. We want to know. We want information. We want to learn. We want to find things out. So science is, a bunch of humans trying to make sense of our experience. Science is not Jesus, but science starts to support Jesus. As we look around this world and try to discover what it is, and as we scientifically dive into, trying to figure out physically and, what this is, what we are, what this experience, and we're trying to figure it out in concrete ways. That is different from Jesus. Jesus didn't tell us to be concrete. Jesus told us to be spiritual, which is, let's just put it into childlike terms, childlike descriptions. You have a stick figure man, and then you have a floaty ghost. So we're not supposed to be the stick figures on the stick figure concrete physical world. We're not supposed to think that we are that. We are the floaty ghosts. I don't know how that came into my mind, but anyway, science is the human activity of trying to figure out from the stick figure point of view what the floaty ghost is, basically, where it comes to the science of God, where it comes to quantum theory and the God particle and science and all the various many scientists and mathematicians that have tried to mathematically figure out the spirit. So science is not spirit, and science does not define spirit. Science doesn't describe spirit, and science is not the study of the spirit. Science is human beings trying to figure out on ground level what the spirit is. basically. Or I'm not talking about all of science, like biology and all of science. I'm talking about the quantum sciences that I talk about on my channel. The great physicists that are coming up with mathematical equations and the God particle and CERN and all these things that are scientifically trying to figure out God. These are all the ants on the ant farm trying to figure out the spiritual floaty ghost that we are. We are the spiritual. So they haven't figured it out. And why do you think that is? And here's something I think somebody brought up in one of the comments. They're probably never going to really figure it out. And I agree with that. I have to agree. I think that we're probably not going to scientifically put our finger on exactly how consciousness is connected to spirit and what the Holy Spirit is made of. And, we can play around with it. I mean, this is a playground. This world the earthly experience is a playground, and we're playing around with things. It's like God has given us big building blocks and Legos and all kinds of Connects toys and things to play with. And we're all down here in the earth, like playing with all these things. But I don't think we're going to, ever really come up with a solid earthly definition of exactly what God is made of, because God is God. And that's the kind of thing that my former husband, my son's dad, used to always tell me. I would ask him all kinds of questions, and he would say, ask God when you get there. Just ask God when you get there. Ask God when you get there. He'll tell you. You'll know everything when you get there. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up this morning because I just feel that, in the whole scientific world, science, sometimes people think clashes with spirituality. I don't think it clashes. I think it supports it. I think that the more we find out in science, the more we prove God's existence, and the more we prove that there is a God, and the more we start to realize that the things that Jesus said were true. I mean, we're supposed to believe Jesus on faith alone, and a lot of people do, and that's the way we're supposed to, like childlike, just believe what he said. Jesus said it, it's true, we're spirit, that's it. We don't have to know the ins and the outs and the whys and everything else. But some people like me and others want to get more, in depth as far as exploring. And it's not that I'm trying to pick apart Jesus. It's not that I'm trying to say that I don't have faith. I mean, I started almost 40 years ago in blind faith, and that's what's carried me along my path so far. But now that I'm kind of digging into the sciences of it, I just find it interesting. I'm not trying to explain Jesus by science. Jesus he doesn't need an explanation. He just is. And God just is. God is the I am. And that's just all there is to it. I mean, anybody can come to God in just total faith, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't need science to know that there's God. God is I am. And we can read the Bible, and when we read the Bible in spirit, and we don't take it literally for every word it says, but read it in spirit and understand the entire concept of the Bible, we get more and more and more connected to Jesus and to God in faith. So I'm not abandoning that by any means. I'm adding to it by exploring some things in the sciences just because I find it interesting. And I also find that we can actually see some things that Jesus said by discovering mathematical equations and things on the earth and quantum theories. And it all points to the fact that Jesus was absolutely right, that the things he said were true. And it's not that I never thought that they were true before I had science to prove it. Again, I knew they were true. I just find it fascinating that scientists and science is starting to lean towards demonstrating some of the things that Jesus taught. So anyway, the more we advance in technology, and the more we advance, and we've got AI coming. I mean, I never thought in my generation I would have to worry about robots taking over the planet, but you know what? That's a Tom Cruise movie. I really, really didn't even want to be here on the earth when this is all happening, but honestly, AI doesn't scare me or freak me out because I know that we are in a higher realm. We don't have to be afraid of anything in this world. We live in a higher realm, so we can watch the things going on in fascination. And that's really what I want my channel to be about. Again, I've said it many times in a lot of my other videos. This is a channel where we're discovering, we're learning, and I want to learn together. So if you've made it all the way to the end of this, all 15 minutes, please share this with somebody you think might be interested in this, because there are a lot of other YouTube channels that talk about these things, and it kind of becomes a community. And that's what I want this to grow into, a community of people who are sharing ideas. So share, 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 because I want more people to see this. I'd like more people to participate. That's all I've got for today. I'm at 16 minutes now, getting into the office. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.